So you know what I saw in my memories today on Facebook? That it was 13 years ago that I decided not to celebrate Christmas anymore. So 13 years ago, I was breaking out of the box of the stress of Christmas. I was realizing the insanity that I had let myself live in under the pressures and stresses of not being able to buy Christmas gifts for everybody, and the pressures of showing up for certain people at certain events, and so on and so forth. And I said, enough. I realize there's weird shadows on my face at this angle. We'll just go with it. And I want to share this because it's the 13-year anniversary of me deciding that. And my children were younger at the time, and I knew that I was going to talk to them about it and see if they were okay if I pulled back from Christmas. And what ended up happening was they just accepted, what I was saying. And then by the next Christmas, I actually ended up going out on Christmas Eve and buying them a bunch of stuff. But it was fine because it was fun. Because I said, oh, I got this wad of cash, I'm going to go spend it on them right now. And it wasn't the pressure, and it wasn't the stress, and it was fun. And it was on my terms, right? And it was giving from my overflow. It wasn't stressed out, I don't have enough, there's not enough, and I can't please everybody, and, I'm not happy with what I have to give, and all that. It wasn't none of that. So from there, their expectations had been adjusted. My expectations had already been adjusted. And so from there, I kind of went along with like a light Christmas for a couple years after that, where I didn't put myself under any of the pressures. I made gifts when I wanted to. I bought gifts that were maybe just like lower value. I didn't make it like wrong or bad that I needed to go without or sacrifice for Christmas, because I saw the ridiculousness of that, because the holiday spirit is so beautiful, loving and giving. And if it turns into stress, that does defeat the purpose, right? Our kids don't want to see us stress the F out because we can't buy certain things for them. And this year, I was reminded of this whole thing that I've done for myself when I encountered somebody and they were like saying, ugh, Christmas. And their stress was that they didn't have enough money to spend on something that they needed to get. They were waiting until after Christmas because all their money was going to Christmas. And they said it in such a way that they expected me to like understand and agree. But I couldn't relate. I could relate in that I understand where they're coming from and I know what that's like, but I don't do that to myself anymore, right? So I just held compassion for that person and was just like, oh, that was it. But it reminded me what a gift I gave myself and my loved ones too, because since then I figured out that my son loves peanut butter balls and that he specifically loves the peanut butter balls that I make. And I never would have known that, right, if I didn't give peanut butter balls as a Christmas gift for a couple of the years. And I've learned that, sometimes it's not great to give my homemade gifts that I've spent a lot of my time and effort in to everybody, because not everybody really likes that, So there have been a year where I gave out a lot of my very valuable crystal jewelry that wasn't really valued by the recipients as it would have been by me if I had received it, right? So then I learned a lesson there, and I was like, okay, so I can still adjust. I can make this my own thing, right? And there has been a year where I didn't go anywhere, right? I had made gifts for everybody in the family, but nobody got together that year, or if they did, they didn't include me. So I just didn't stress about it. I still have those gifts. Maybe if we get together this year, I'll give them out. I just made it this very low stress situation for myself and really let myself embrace the essence of what the holiday is to me. And that is, yes, we're celebrating the time that Christ was born, And to me, that is very special. It's a very like emotional moment when I revisit this vision of Bethlehem and Christ being born, because it was just such an accomplishment, a remarkable thing for us as people to have the energy come to Earth. And it was, I feel like it was a challenge for it to happen, and that's why it was such an accomplishment for us all, you know? So I think it's beautiful that we celebrate it, and I think that the essence of the holiday is a unity, a camaraderie, a spirit of sure giving, sure receiving, but mostly just caring, you know? And yeah, so I stopped celebrating Christmas the way it was taught to me, and I started celebrating Christmas for what it means to me. And I'm so glad I did that 13 years ago. May you have a very happy holiday, however you choose to celebrate.